Chicago can be the greatest city in the world, but unfortunately, it's the most corrupt. It's time for new leadership to take us into a future we can all believe in. My name is Jamal Green, and I'm not a politician, I'm you.
Community activist Jamal Green is joining the growing field to unseat Mayor Lori Lightfoot. At 27 years old, Green is the youngest candidate in the race. And he joins me now in studio. Jamal, good to see you.
So good to see you as well, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So let's jump right into it. First of all, at such a young age, do you feel like you're really ready to take on the biggest job in the city and one of the biggest jobs in the world, honestly?
Of course, 100%. We need somebody who really understands the city on a unique level, that not only understands the roots of the city, has grown up in this city, understands and have worked with all of the different folks in all of the different fields that we need solutions in without the fancy title. You know, I've also built successful businesses, and so I have management experience, and as well as political experience where I've consulted this administration and the last administration. So I've been in the field for many years on the outside without the title, doing what's right for the people. Now it's time for somebody like that who has those qualifications to take the seat.
But do you have the fiscal experience to handle things like a massive city budget and stuff like that?
100%. I mean, listen, let me be clear here. The mayor does not handle the budget, right? And of course, I'm going to have to put together the best team possible to move this city forward, which we haven't seen in many years. And essentially, what I would do is make sure that my head of my budget is prioritizing the needs of the people. So every head of each department will have to bring me data on why they need that type of a budget. Okay, so I've managed multi-million-dollar budgets, and of course, you know, this is a $28 billion enterprise, which is why you need a strong team of experts to help you move this city forward, which I'm already ready to appoint.
Now, another thing critics have talked about when it comes to you, they worry about your maturity. You had a situation where you tweeted out that Mayor Lori Lightfoot was going to resign. You since apologized for that. But how can voters trust that you are mature enough to take on this massive job with situations like that in your past?
Well, I think that was a one-off thing that many folks in the city, it was a big, large rumor at the time that I regret that I even played into it with one tweet. At the end of the day, you know, if you look at my track record and the things that I've done, the accomplishments that I've moved forward, I've always taken action and getting results. I fought the largest bank in the world in Chase Bank and forced them to give back $1 billion to redline communities. So I've always been rather mature in how I've taken on large problems and I've solved them and brought forth solutions.
Now, you vowed to cut gun violence in half and create 10,000 new homeowners with mortgage and down payment programs. If elected, though, how do you specifically plan to do that?
Yeah, good question. We have bonding capacity here in our city, and what I would do is I would bring back a single-family mortgage bond. We used it many years ago under the Daley era, and I would use our bonding capacity at $1 billion a year to back home loans, okay, at a lower market, at a lower rate than the market. And so we need to increase home ownership in these neighborhoods. If you look at neighborhoods like Lincoln Park, where the home ownership is in the mid-70s, you will see thriving communities, more folks who have great jobs, you have more businesses are thriving, you have better schools. There's so many different things that happens when you increase the home ownership, you repopulate the communities, and you incentivize developers to develop. So that's a huge initiative of mine.
How about gun violence, something that so many families have to grapple with right now? What is your plan to address that and bring that down? Because you're saying you're going to cut it in half. How do you do that?
Well, 100%. So economics is one of those things that ties into it. But let me just say, I'm going to be a mayor that's going to get my hands dirty and go into these communities and make sure that this problem is solved by making sure that when we go into these neighborhoods that we're intervening in every step of someone's life to make sure that they have a path to productivity. So if they come out of a broken home, we're going to make sure the schools have certain services and they're open throughout the day with programs for the students and the parents. If they go into a police system or the nonviolent crime, we're going to adopt mentoring organizations to mandate them to mentors. They go into juvie or come out of jail, we're going to make sure that they go through our program before they hit the street so we know where they are.
We got about 30 seconds here. How do police factor into that?
Yeah, police factor into it by when we focus on the root causes of crime, we will not be overworking police. Police right now overwork suicides at an all-time high, and they are tired. We need to make sure that we're tackling the real problems and stop throwing police at it, because that's not how you solve it.
Jamal, lots of other issues we could talk to you about, but unfortunately we're out of time. But hey, we'll see you around. We'll see what comes of this mayoral race, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
On the Block has invited all Chicago's mayoral candidates